The history of agrarian reform in the Philippines has been long and complex with several international policies and programs aimed at addressing landlessness and promoting equity and social justice. One of the most significant and well-known of these is the Comprehensive Agrarian Reform Program (CRP), which was established in 1988 under the Comprehensive Agrarian Reform Law, Republic Act No. 6657. The program aimed to redistribute public and private agricultural land to small independent farmers regardless of their territorial agreement and to provide support to aid agrarian reform beneficiaries. CRP also aimed to enhance agricultural productivity, generate employment, and put an end to land ownership conflicts. Another version of agrarian reform in the Philippines was put forward by the Arroyo administration, which anchored its program on the vision to make the country economically valuable for the Filipino family by empowering farmers as entrepreneurs. This program focused on providing farmers with access to credits, markets, and technology, as well as improving rural infrastructure and services. Despite these efforts, the implementation of agrarian reform policies has faced opposition from the landlords and lack of support for the legislation. However, studies have shown that CRP has had a significant positive impact on the farmer beneficiaries, particularly in terms of improving their income and land ownership status. The emancipation of the tenants of the bondage of the soil is a critical component of the program, and it requires a collective effort from the government, farmers, and other stakeholders to ensure its success.
Itinuturing ang Pilipinas bilang isang bansang sagana sa agrikultura.
Dahil naganap pa rin ang gutom sa bansa, natatakot ang Department of Agrarian Reform sa posibleng food shortage kung magpatuloy ito.
No way to earn a living to feed.
Bitin kapag walang-wala na sa budget.
The province is expecting to lose at least half its crops.
Before the Spaniards came to the Philippines, Filipinos lived in villages or barangays through barajas or tatus. Everyone, regardless of status, had access to the land and mutually shares the fruits of their labor. They believed that this land is ours. God gave this land to us. So they practiced the concept of stewardship. Land cultivation was done commonly by the Indian system or the slash and burn method. During this period, food production was intended for family consumption only. But later, neighboring communities were engaged in a barter trade, exchanging their goods with others. When it comes to leasing and selling of land, the Maragtas Code seems to be the only recorded transaction of land sale during this time. This tells us about the selling of Panay Island by the natives to the 10 Bornean datus in exchange for a golden salakot and a long gold necklace.
When the Spaniards came to the Philippines, the concept of pueblo agriculture was introduced. It is a system wherein each native family is given 45 hectares of land to cultivate. Again, to cultivate, not to own. The native families were merely landholders and not landowners. It was because the land assigned to them was the property of the Spanish king, where they paid the colonial tributes in the form of agricultural products they produced. They also have this encomienda system where a large tracts of land were given to Spaniards or encomiendero for them to manage and have the right to collect tributes from the Indios. But it soon became an abuse of power. Only few powerful landlords were able to afford the rents. And the natives who once cultivated the lands in freedom were transformed into mere share tenants. They did not even have any rights to the land. They were forced to sell it at a very low price or surrender their harvest to Spanish authorities. Then the encomienderos will resell it for profit.
Realizing that being landless was the main revolt at that time, the Americans sought to put an end to the miserable conditions of the small farmers by passing several land policies to widen the base of small landholdings and distribute land ownership among the greater number of Filipino tenants than farmers. But did these land policies help the farmer situation? No. It further worsened the land ownership situation because there was no limit on the size of land holdings one could possess. So, once again, land holdings were concentrated in the hands of fewer individuals who can afford to buy, register, and acquire fixed titles of their properties.
Upon the arrival of the Japanese in the Philippines in 1942, peasants and workers' organizations grew strike. They identified themselves as an anti-Japanese group, Hukbalahap, Hukbo ng bayang laban sa mga Hapon. For them, the war was a golden opportunity for people's initiative to push their poor programs. Landlords were overpowered by the peasants, but unfortunately, at the end of the war, with the help of the military police and civilian guards, landlords were able to retrieve their lands from the Hukbalahap.
For the nth time, farmers failed to appeal. The problems of land tenure remained, and this became worse in certain areas. After the establishment of Philippine independence in 1946, the Congress revised the tenancy law. Every president offered their own initiatives. The government have been enacting laws, but why the Agrarian reform still has to be a dying issue.
70% of the poverty nandoon sa agricultural sector. They don't own the land. The land reform was deferred not because it was not given, or indeed there was really some ceremony to do that, but the problem again is that there was no support.
Philippine Republic Act No. 6389, Code of Agrarian Reform, and RA No. 6390 of 1971. This is a government document that created the Department of Agrarian Reform and the Agrarian Code of the Philippines. It provides an overview and the legal frameworks for agrarian reform in the country. Agrarian reform has contributed to improvement of the socio-economic condition of landless farmer and the politic development of the Philippines in terms. This is academic article that discusses the impact of agrarian reform of the Philippines. It covers the socio-economic condition of a landless farmer and the political development of the country. 6657, more popularly known as the Comprehensive Agrarian Reform Law. This is the law passed in 1986 that provides the legal basis for the Comprehensive Agrarian Reform Program or CARP. It outlined of the objective scope of the modalities of the program. Land Reform in the Philippines, an overview. This is an article that provides an overview of the history of land reform in the Philippines. It covers the Spanish colonial period, the American colonial period, martial law, and the other people power revolution, among the other. CARP implementation in the Philippines. A status report. This is a report that provides an assessment of the implementation of CARP in the Philippines. It covers the achievement, challenges, and the recommendation for the other program. Ability to work as a team. Under the Comprehensive Agrarian Reform Program or CARP, in the Philippines, the land covered by the program includes all the public and private agricultural lands, including the rice and corn land, as well as the other lands suitable for agriculture, such as coconut, sugar, and banana lands. The main object of CARP is to promote the social justice and industrialization in the country by redistributing land to landless farmer and farm workers, and providing them with support and service such as credits, infrastructure, and technical assistance. Working as a team is a crucial part of success of any program or project. In context of agrarian reform, working as a team can involve collaboration between government and agency, non-governmental and organization, NGOs, farmers, organization, and other stakeholders. For example, government agencies such as Department of Agrarian Reform or DAR and the Land Bank of the Philippines can work with NGOs and farmers organizations to identify and distribute land to eligible beneficiaries as well as provide them with support service. Farmers organizations can also play a key role in advocating for the rights of landless farmers and farm workers, as well as providing them with training and technical assistance to improve their productivity and livelihood. Overall, effective teamwork and collaboration are essential of the successful implementation of agrarian reform program, as they can help to ensure that the needs and interests of all stakeholders are taken into account, and that the program objectives are achieved in suitable and equitable manner. The agrarian reform movement into the Philippines sought to be emancipate the tenant from the bondage of the soil and provide them with the land ownership and secure of tenure. This movement aimed to address the century-old problem of landlessness and social injustice in the country. The Comprehensive Agrarian Reform Program or CARP was established in 1988 as a response to growing demand for genuine agrarian reform. The program aimed to distribute land to landless farmers and provide them with support service such as credit, structure, and training. To be entitled to benefit from the program, the farmer beneficiaries must meet certain requirements such as being small farmer, tenant of farm worker, and must not own more than 3 hectares of land. The program also prioritized the distribution of land that are underutilized or owned by absent landlord. Despite the effort of the government and the other stakeholders, the implementation of agrarian reform program in the Philippines has faced challenges such as resistance from the landlords, lack of funding, and corruption. However, the success of agrarian reform program depends on the collaboration and teamwork of the government agency, NGOs, farmer organization, and the other stakeholders. By educating the student about the history of policies of agrarian reform in the Philippines, they can develop and understand of the importance of land ownership and security of tenure for farmers. Can also inspire them to become an advocates for social justice and equality in their communities.